Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Earl Austin Jr. I'm the St. Louis American sports editor. I read every Thursday. It's a free paper, so make sure you get it. No excuse. But I would like to welcome everybody to the Larry Hughes Athletic Awards Banquet honoring outstanding high school athletes in the St. Louis metropolitan area. This is my 26th year of covering high school athletics in St. Louis, and I see so many great athletes, student athletes, coaches, and parents along the way, and so many great teams. But at the end of the day, I always look forward to this event. This is one of my favorite events when we can just sit down and honor the young heroes and heroines on the athletic field in St. Louis. So first, give yourselves a hand. You all deserve this special day. Before we bring up Mr. Gray of the St. Louis Gateway Classic Foundation, I want to thank a couple of special people. As you said, we had a new touch, which I think added a lot to this event. We had a red carpet, and give you a chance, you see it on TV, you see the actors and actresses at the Academy Awards or the Tonys or the Grammys. So we decided to really do it up for these young special student athletes, and you're superstars, and we're treating you like superstars today. So I'd like to thank a couple of people who conducted the interviews on the red carpet. Megan O of Hot 104.1. And also a gentleman who many of you know, you've seen him on TV. He's very committed to covering high school athletics in St. Louis on KTVI, Fox 2. He's given out the Athlete of the Week to many of you sitting in this room right now, and we've co-hosted a Friday night football show, and he's one of the best in the business. A salute to Mr. Maurice Drummond. Moving on, let me bring up to the podium the president of the St. Louis Gateway Classic Sports Foundation, Mr. Richard Gray.
Welcome to an event that is very special to the Classic. About 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we were sitting around and we were talking about how the high schools were in a position where they were no longer able to have the banquets that they used to have to recognize their student athletes. So the Classic decided to approach an individual that had grown up in the St. Louis area, played high school ball in the St. Louis area, played college ball in the St. Louis area, and played ball in the NBA, and asked if he would be engaged in this activity. And not only did he accept the engagement, but he embraced it with both arms. And that's why the event is named after Larry Hughes, and I want to recognize Mr. Hughes. Together with the committee, we were able to develop what I believe is an all-star group of athletes this year. We're excited about this event again. We brought it to a new location. We red carpet the kids. There's not much more we can do other than to recognize them for all of the great work that they've done. And believe me, we understand that it's a tremendous amount of work that they had to do to get here today. This is their day. Thank you for being here, and enjoy this event.
Thank you, Rich. You're a tremendous civic leader, done so many things for the community. Probably his most important job going now is he's the coach of his granddaughter's 6th grade girls basketball team, so doing it all. Now a very special treat. We'd like to bring up one of the greatest athletes ever to come out of the St. Louis metropolitan area. Like many of you, she was a star high school athlete at East St. Louis Lincoln High School in basketball and track and field. She went on to UCLA, where she was an All-American in both basketball and track and field, and of course you know the story. She went on to become a 4-time Olympian, won several gold medals, silver, bronze, and she also played in the first Women's Professional Basketball Association. Just does it all. And on top of that, she was an even better person. You know, all the things she's done on the athletic field known worldwide. it's surpassed by she's a great human being, and she's a representative for our community. There's nobody better. Let's bring up, please, Jackie Joyner-Kersee.
Well, thank you, and I would just like to say that I'm honored to be here. I have been very supportive of Larry Hughes and his family and everything that the Gateway Classic stand for, and I would like to say to the student athletes out there, this is something that you should treasure for a lifetime, because a lot of you are going to go in and do extraordinary things, and you'll be friends for life. So embrace this moment, enjoy it. Larry, I'm always there for you, and thanks for having me.
Okay, before we get served our meal, let's bring up Mr. Tim Holloway, who will lead us all in prayer.
Please bow your head. Father, we thank you and we praise you for this great day that you've allowed us to see. We ask that you would bless these student athletes and their parents and their supporters. We also ask that you would now bless the food that we're about to partake of. God, we ask that you would allow it to nourish our bodies. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Tim. We will hear from Tim later on in the program. Now it's time for our meal, and I'll rejoin you at about 2 o'clock, so everybody enjoy, and we'll talk to you in a little bit. Before we bring on our special guest speaker of the afternoon, I'd like to acknowledge some people, some very special guests here in the audience. People that I've seen. If I didn't see everybody, I forgive this, but first I'll be acknowledge special talented young ladies from the St. Louis Surge women's semi-pro basketball team. Had their first game last night. 92-65 victory. They played their games at Umsel, and they had a crowd of over 2,500 last night. So Kalia Collier, the owner, and the Surge get a chance to go out and see them. They're very exciting to watch. So St. Louis Surge. Sitting at that same table, a Hall of Fame basketball coach. He was a former great athlete at Sumner High School and won state championships at Soldan and Cardinal Ritter College Prep, where he's right now the head coach, Marvin Niels. I'd like to acknowledge another, we talked about Maurice Drummond early on, another media colleague of mine. He's in the audience, this time as a parent. He was a keynote speaker here a couple of years back. He was a great athlete at the Smet and Umsel, and like Maurice, has done a tremendous job covering high school sports in the St. Louis metropolitan area. He's also for Channel 5, and he's also the host of the Press Box on KFNS 590, Mr. Frank Cusimano. Also like to acknowledge, I believe he's here, Mr. Matt Irvin. He's the head coach of Kirkwood High School football, state champions, Class 5A, first in the school's history. I'd like to acknowledge Justin Tatum. He's the new coach at CBC High School right in front. Led Soldan to a state championship last year. Also another Hall of Fame coach. He's here to see his son honored. Hall of Fame coach Floyd Irons, formerly of Vashon High School, is in the house as well. There he is. Also, I'd like to acknowledge Howard Richards, a former University of Missouri star, Southwest High School in 1977. Played for the Dallas Cowboys. Now one of the radio voices of the Missouri Tigers. And sitting right next to him, he played at Hazelwood East High School, was an All-American, played at Indiana and the Indianapolis Colts. Bernard Whittington. Thank you very much for coming here and watching these young people being honored on this very special day. Now I would like to bring up our guest speaker for the afternoon. You heard from him earlier. Like you, he was a tremendous athlete at McClure High School in the Suburban North Conference. He was one of the best outside shooters in St. Louis. He went on to University of Missouri Rolla, where he went on and had a great career, a 4-year starter, left with many school records. And a couple of years ago, he was inducted into the University of Missouri Rolla Hall of Fame. He is now doing a great job in the business world, and he's also the president of the St. Louis Eagles Basketball Club, one of the top clubs in the country. Let me reintroduce to you Mr. Tim Holloway.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's truly an honor to stand before you today and to be able to share with these young people and congratulate them on all that they've accomplished. I do want to start by thanking, obviously, the Gateway Classic for this invitation. Rich Gray is just a tremendous person. He and Joan have been a tremendous influence in my life. So thank you to the Classic and to the board for this invitation. Dawn, thank you very much. You're up and coming. I'm looking forward to great things from you as well. And then to Larry and his family, thank you all so much for allowing me to be a part of this celebration. To the students in the room, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself as well as the parents. Many of you guys may not know who I am. And when Rich Gray called me, I was wondering, was he playing a joke on me? Was he kidding? As to why I would be asked to have such an honor. But he kind of went on to explain what this really is all about. And I was honored once he kind of broke it down to me and said, Tim, you know, this is a scholar-athlete event. Scholar-athlete. This is not about those that have played in the NBA or those that have played in the NFL. Lord knows Jackie Joyner-Kersee is in the room, so I'm just honored to even be here, or an Olympian champion. But it's about being a scholar athlete. And so that resonated with me because that was my history. That was my story. Someone who had aspirations to play professional sports, but very quickly realized that my athletics would never outweigh my scholastic achievements. I learned that real quickly. Larry may not remember this, but sophomore year, came home from Rolla, had been killing it. You know, granted it's Division II, but I've been killing it. Me and my boy Kobe Pierce, who also played with the Eagles, were in the gym, and Larry and Justin, those guys had just finished practicing. So we said, well, let's take on Larry, and there was some other guy. We kind of heard about him, but didn't really know what he could do. So we've been working out, got a little stronger, and played Larry and another guy 2-on-2. And man, how quickly I realized how important it was for me to stay in school, to get my education. And Kobe and I to this day talk about that. It's like, man, this guy was a sophomore in high school, and he just dismantled us. The other guy didn't really have to play. Larry did all the scoring, but so yeah, I'm honored because it really is about being a scholar athlete. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a 37-year-old married man, father of one, the vice president of a $500 million company here in St. Louis. I'm a member of the St. Louis Regional Business Council's Young People's Professionals Network, and also a part of that Leadership 100 team. President of the St. Louis Eagles Basketball Club, which is a 501c3 organization. I'm also a board member and treasurer of Charlie's Body Shop, which is a dance studio for low-income children in North St. Louis. I'm also the vice president of Witty Writings, which is a publishing company that a friend of mine and I started in Reno. Hall of Fame basketball player at the University of Missouri Rolla, and also a Wall of Fame inductee at McClure High School. I don't say all that to say, thank you. I don't say all that to obviously toot my own horn, but to kind of prove a point. I am you 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I sat in a banquet hall just like this at the Sentinel's Anthony Bonner's Scholar Athlete Award banquet. And while I was proud of all that I'd accomplished and all that I had planned to do, throughout that speech, I realized that it really at that point was not a celebration of me and what I had accomplished, but it was really about my parents, my teachers, my coaches, my mentors, those that had poured into me everything I needed to be a leader. And throughout that speech, it really set home with me that my life was really just beginning. So at this point, I want to stop and pause and ask the student athletes to please give your parents, coaches, mentors, teachers a round of applause, because they put in countless hours of dropping you off, picking you up, working you out in the gym, taking you to here, taking you to there. So let's give them a round of applause. They deserve it. So as I was saying, I'm you 20 years ago. And I'll tell you, 20 years goes by pretty fast. But I am who you can become. Less than 2%, and you guys have probably already heard these numbers, less than 2% of all college athletes go on to play professional sports. And the NCAA is doing a great job of reiterating that we all will go pro in something. But most of us will be in the business world, in the community, working in our local businesses or what have you. But you have what it takes to succeed. You came here today preloaded for success. It is in you to be a success. You've learned how to work. You've learned how to sacrifice. You've learned how to be a teammate. You've learned how to share. Those are all the traits and characteristics that you need to be a success in today's world. I want to reiterate to you some of the virtues that have really rung true in my life. And I talked to Larry earlier. He told me to be short, so I'm going to be short. One is to continue to lead. Continue to lead. I tell my daughter, who's 7, every morning, I want you to be a leader today. A leader does what's right when everyone else is doing something different. When people decide to go the wrong way, you're strong enough to go the right way. That's being a leader. And as you guys embark on college athletics or whatever field you may venture into, you will be tested. I promise you. At little old Rolla, I was tested. Was I going to do the right thing or the wrong thing? So I challenge you to lead. To lead, and it takes strength. I hope you remember these words when that time comes. It takes strength to do the right thing when everyone else on the team or everyone else in the dorm or all of your boys in the posse decide to do the wrong thing. Will you be strong enough to lead? 2 is to live on purpose. Live on purpose. Know what you're doing and know why you're doing it. Don't live for someone else. Don't live for your parents. Don't play ball for your parents. Don't work and toil and sweat for someone else. Do it for you. Live on purpose. Know what you're doing and why you're doing it. That's important to me because these organizations that I'm a part of, I do it because I love what they represent. I love to be able to give back to a 6-year-old girl who would never be able to afford a dance class, would never be exposed to ballet or tap living in the inner city. So live on purpose and dedicate yourself to those things that hold true to your virtues and the way you were brought up as a young person. Last but not least, know that you belong. I have had an opportunity over the past couple years to work with the St. Louis Eagles basketball club, which still blows my mind that I'm currently the president of. What a tremendous opportunity. But as we travel the country and we play against the Larry Hughes and the great ones that have come before us and the ones that are yet to come, these future NBA players, I have to reiterate time and time again to our players from the local St. Louis area that you belong. You are not here because we just thought it was something fun to do and we thought you were an okay player and we just want to compete. You're here because you belong. And I learned early in life that my parents instilled this in me. When you make it somewhere, when you make it to college, when you've earned that scholarship, when you've earned that degree, when you get that first job and you're making your first paycheck, you belong there. You have now arrived. Not that you should rest on those laurels, but you have arrived. And so many times we get caught up in trying to prove that we belong. You're already there. You don't have to prove that you belong. Simply improve on the skills that you have. Improve on the knowledge that you've acquired. Improve in your character. Improve in everything that you set your mind to do. Young people, you belong. You are preloaded to succeed. Don't let yourself down. Continue to work, continue to strive, continue to lead, and do what's right when no one else is willing to make that move. Congratulations. God bless you. I wish you all the best.
Very inspiring, very encouraging. A great mentor and a great example to the young student athletes here in the audience. Thanks again, Tim. Now it's time for what we come here for, to honor our special student athletes here in the St. Louis metropolitan area. And what we'll do is we'll call you up by sport, and we have Claire Hayes here, and Maurice Drummond, Larry, and Rich. Is Rich here? Okay, there he is. You'll be awarded a certificate and a medal, and we'll have a good time here. Okay, we'll start with football. Our first honoree, Connor Harrison DeSmet. Connor was an outstanding quarterback for the Spartans, a 3-year starter, threw for over 2,000 yards and led the Spartans to the state semifinals this year, but he's going to play baseball at Spring Hill, a two-sport athlete, Connor Harrison DeSmet. Jared Bishop, Kirkwood. Jared was the Suburban South Conference Defensive Player of the Year, an outstanding linebacker for the Class 5A state champions. The defensive leader also was an excellent tight end as well as offense. He's headed to Northwest Missouri State. Jared Bishop. And while we're taking a picture of Jared, we'll bring up his twin brother, Jordan Bishop, Kirkwood High School. Well, Jared was the Offensive Player of the Year in the Suburban South. Jordan was the Defensive Player of the Year. Jordan was the Offensive Player of the Year as the quarterback, an outstanding dual threat, led the team to the state championship, outstanding leader off the field as well, and he's, like his brothers, headed to Northwest Missouri State in Maryville, Missouri. Jordan Bishop. Aaron Spudich, Maplewood, Richmond Heights. Aaron's an outstanding two-sport athlete, an all-state lineman on both sides of the ball from Maplewood, a 4-year starter, also an excellent basketball player as well. He is headed to Lincoln University in Jefferson City. Aaron's brother Calvin was an honoree here a couple of years ago as well, playing football at Southern Illinois University of Carbondale. Let's bring up Denzel Conway, MICDS. Denzel was one of the area's top running backs. As a junior, helped lead the Rams to the Class 4 state championship game. Had close to 1,000 yards as a senior, all conference. He's headed to Valparaiso University. Denzel Conway. Darius Mosley, O'Fallon. One of the best athletes in the state of Illinois. Darius was a two-way star at wide receiver and defensive back for the Panthers. They were a big part of the Southwestern Conference, made it to the Class 7 state quarterfinals. He's headed to University of Illinois. Darius Mosley. Eric Beisel, Rockwood Summit. When you have the nickname Zeus, you gotta be pretty good. One of the top linebackers in the state of Missouri, a leader, an excellent player, led Rockwood Summit on one of the best seasons in the school history, getting to the state quarterfinals of Class 5. He's headed to the University of Missouri, Eric Beisel. Alec Abelin, St. Louis University High School. We've been blessed these past couple of years to have some outstanding linemen in the St. Louis area, and Alec is one of them. Excellent player, is one of the big reasons why St. Louis U has had one of the most prolific offensive units in the metropolitan area. He's headed also to the University of Missouri, Alec Abelin. Markel Smith Vianney, one of the top running backs in the state of Missouri. He rushed for over 1,800 yards as a sophomore this season, over 2,500 yards and 35 touchdowns. Has one more year to go. He'll be one of the area's top career leading rushers by the time he gets through. That's Markel Smith Vianney. Ezekiel Elliott, John Burroughs. The St. Louis Metropolitan Area Player of the Year. Ezekiel had close to 100 touchdowns in his stellar career at John Burroughs, led them to 3 consecutive state championship games, and then this year's state championship game set a state championship game record with more than 400 yards of total offense. He ran the ball, he passed it, he caught the ball, kickoffs, punts, he did everything. He's headed to The Ohio State University, Ezekiel Elliott. That's our football. Is that everybody? Okay. Our football honorees, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we'll have field hockey. We have 3 honorees present here today. Let's bring up Bridget Condi of MICDS. There comes Bridget. One of our youngest honorees, but very talented young lady, led the team in scoring and assists and led her team to the Final Four of the state tournament, and she was an all-Midwest region performer. Bridget Condi, MICDS. Megan Stuckel, Narings Hall. Megan was also an outstanding offensive player, led her team with 19 goals this year, 10 assists. She was also an all-metro, all-region performer as well. That's Megan Stuckel, Narings Hall. Michaela Mooney, Whitfield School. Michaela was a tremendous player, also led her team in scoring from the midfield area. She was an all-metro selection, and she was also an excellent little basketball player as well on a very good Whitfield team. Michaela Mooney, Whitfield. Our field hockey honorees. Now it's time for cross country. We have 2 honorees here today. Our first, Kristen Adams from Francis Howell High School. Howell has an excellent tradition for distance running, and Kristen, continuing on in that tradition, led her team to the Class 4 state championship. She finished 5th at the state meet with a very talented field and doing an excellent job. A state champion, Kristen Adams, Francis Howell. Caitlin Fisher, Herculaneum. There's a great tradition of distance running and cross country in Jefferson County, particularly Herculaneum High School. Caitlin is one of the latest. She's a state champion this year, Class 2. She led her team to the team state championship as well. She's also a state champion on the track at 1 mile and 2 mile as well. That's Caitlin Fisher from Herculaneum. Cross country, let me tell you, that's a sport of dedication. Sometimes you're running through the woods and the weather's raining, sleet, could be snow. By the time state, there's hills, up and down hills. Nino, make you guys run cross country too, Jackie? Yeah, that's bad, yeah. Moving back indoors, it's time for volleyball. Our first honoree, Lily Johnson from Lafayette High School. Lily was the St. Louis Area Player of the Year, led Lafayette to 2 Class 4A state championships, led the team in just about every category as well. She's headed to Missouri State, a tremendous player. This is one of the top teams in the United States this year. That's Lily Johnson. Let's bring up her teammate from Lafayette, Stephanie Campbell, also from Lafayette High School. Well, other category, Lily didn't lead the team in. Stephanie led the team in the others, the middle blocker. They were a tremendous combo on a great team. She's headed to Auburn University on a volleyball scholarship, also a big part of that undefeated state championship team. That's Stephanie Campbell. These two weren't only part of a good volleyball team, they were a great, extraordinary volleyball team. They were 40-0. Not only did they not lose a game during the season, they didn't lose a set. And they spent much of the season ranked #1 in the country. It was amazing, amazing run. One of the most dominant teams in the state of Missouri in any sport. It didn't matter what it was. Okay, let's go to boys basketball. Our first honoree, Nick Van Osdale, Belleville West High School. A 6'2" guard, Nick was one of the top scorers in the metro area, averaged more than 20 points a game. Had one game early this season where he scored 43 points in the Vianney tournament, led Belleville West to an excellent season. He's headed to Lindenwood University, which is special to me because that's where I played college basketball, so I'll definitely be following Nick Van Osdale, Belleville West. Garrett Covington, Edwardsville High School. Part of a tremendous basketball family. Older sister Anya was an excellent player at Evansville and the University of Wisconsin. Garrett was one of the top perimeter shooters in the area, averaged 18 points a game, led Edwardsville to a 3rd place finish in the Class 4 state tournament. He's headed to Western Illinois University. Garrett Covington. Garrett Covington, ladies and gentlemen. Another part of that dynamic duo at Edwardsville, his teammate Trey Harris, Edwardsville High School. Also comes from another great basketball family at Edwardsville. His father, his uncle, everybody in that family can hoop. Younger brother coming up through the ranks, but Trey, Garrett averaged 18 points, a very smooth operator, averaged 18, helped lead Edwardsville to a 3rd place finish in the Class 4 state tournament. Just an excellent player, enjoyed watching him play, Trey Harris. Jordan Martin, Hazelwood Central. Jordan played on the varsity for 4 years, one of the area's top post players. Just a big, rugged, blue-collar player, led the team in scoring, one of the best rebounders, shot blockers in the St. Louis area throughout his career. He's headed to Southern Illinois University in Carbondale. He's Jordan Martin. Foye Aluakan, John Burroughs. An excellent all-around player, Foye led John Burroughs to a 20-win season, the championship of the Metro League. Led the team in scoring, rebounding, assists, and steals from the guard position, one of the top defensive players in the area. Also an excellent football player as well. He's headed to the Ivy League, Yale University. Khalid Hagens, Maplewood, Richmond Heights. Khalid did it all in two sports. In basketball, he was a 4-year starter, averaged over 20 points a game, led Maplewood to district championship this year and an excellent season. Football, he was a 3-year starter, led him to the Show Me Bowl 3 years ago, and he's headed to University of Tennessee Martin to play football. Khalid Hagens. Ronnie Suggs, Washington High. Ronnie's brother Scott was here in 2008. He was Mr. Basketball in the state of Missouri, and Ronnie's on his way. He's an all-state performer, led Washington to a district championship this year, averaged 19 points a game, was an all-conference, all-state selection, and big-time college recruit, just getting better all the time. That's Ronnie Suggs, Washington High School. Okay, let's go to Rashad Lindsay, McClure North High School. Rashad was an all-state performer this year for McClure North and one of the more exciting guards in the area. Averaged 22 points a game, led McClure North to the quarterfinals of the Class 5 state tournament, and he can score, he can rebound for a small guard, just a lot of quickness, speed, and excitement all over the court. He's Rashad Lindsay, McClure North High School. Drew Moore, Duchesne High School. Drew has been a fixture in St. Charles in his career at Duchesne. He's been starting since his freshman year, where they've won 3 conference championships and 3 consecutive district championships. They went to the state quarterfinals, and Drew will be back to terrorize St. Charles County for one more season. He's been their leading scorer and rebounder for his entire career. He's Drew Moore, Duchesne. Robin Thompson, MICDS. Robin was an all-state and all-conference forward for MICDS this year, one of the top shot blockers in the state of Missouri, led the team in scoring, rebounding, was the ball handler, and he'll be back next year, being highly recruited as well. He's Robin Thompson, MICDS. Anthony Vador, Lutheran North High School. Carrying on the basketball excellence and the name, Anthony Vador. His dad was a tremendous player at Lutheran North. Anthony graduates as the career leading scorer at Lutheran North, over 2,000 points. Led Lutheran North to 2 consecutive Final Fours, 3rd place finishes in the Class 3 state tournament. Also a tremendous football player as well, an all-metro wide receiver. He's Anthony Vador, Lutheran North. We're moving back outdoors and soccer honorees. Our first one, Giovanni Dokic, CBC. Giovanni was a standout midfielder and defensive player, did it all for CBC, led them to 25 victories and the Class 4 state championship. Giovanni is one of the top players in the state of Missouri, and he was the St. Louis Metro Player of the Year this year. Giovanni Dokic, CBC. Tommy Barlow, Chaminade, college prep. Tremendous soccer player. He was the Gatorade High School Player of the Year in the state of Missouri. Has 58 goals in his career at Chaminade, being recruited by some of the top soccer programs in the United States. Led Chaminade to the Class 3 championship game, finished second to CBC. Tommy Barlow, Chaminade. Jason Pizak, Chaminade. Tommy's teammate at Chaminade, a tremendous player in his own right, scored 18 goals and had a big hand in leading Chaminade to a championship game appearance in Class 3. That's Jason Pizak, Chaminade. Now, you know, soccer in the St. Louis area has always been a hotbed around the country. So when you honor the top soccer players in St. Louis, it's basically saying you're honoring the top high school soccer players in the United States because of the tradition of soccer in St. Louis. Those are our boys' soccer honorees. Let's move to swimming. Well, we have one honoree. His name is Justin Marler from Timberland High School, Wentzville, Timberland. Part of a tremendous program at Timberland High School. He was an all-around performer, but he won the state championship this season in the 100-meter backstroke for his high school. That's Justin Marler from Timberland. He's headed to Truman State University, outstanding student as well. Girls softball. We have two honorees here today. First, Teresa DeCoste, Francis Howell. Teresa was a standout all-around performer for the Vikings. She led them to a Final Four appearance, third place, I believe, in Class 4. She hit .550 and very fast, led the team in 24 stolen bases, too, so she can run and hit and throw. Teresa DeCoste. Fast runner. Morgan Oliver, Troy, Buchanan High School. The Player of the Year in St. Louis. As a junior, she led Troy to the state championship, and she came back as a senior and set a state record with 67 RBIs while hitting over 600 this year. Did it all for Troy, an outstanding player. Morgan Oliver, Troy. Girls basketball now, moving back indoors. Let's bring up Taylor Miller, Metro. Taylor was a dominant force for Metro this past season, led the team in almost every category, averaged over 20 points and 12 rebounds, and played point guard, she played forward, she played center. Just did it all for Metro. Just an excellent player. I've enjoyed watching her play as well. Taylor Miller, Metro. Becca Steins, Parkway South High School. Comes from an excellent program. They had tremendous success during her 4-year career. I believe she's the school's career rebounding leader among the school's career scorers. Led them to a conference championship last year and the state quarterfinals. I believe she's headed to Truman State University. Just had an outstanding career and an excellent program. Becca Steins, Parkway South High School. Stephanie Anderson, Whitfield. Stephanie was also a 4-year starter and the school's career-leading scorer. She can really put the ball in the basket, averaged over 20 points a game her last 2 years at Whitfield, an all-conference, all-state selection, Class 3. She's headed to University of Chicago, Division III school, excellent program as well. That's Stephanie Anderson, Whitfield School. Green Ann Farrar, Miller Career Academy. She's one of the top point guards in the state of Missouri. Really enjoyed watching her play. Excellent player as a sophomore last year. Helped her Career Academy get to the Final Four for the second time, finished third in the air at the state. This year they won another district championship and the Public High League championship as well. She'll be back next year, and will be a lot of college coaches will be watching Green Ann Farrar, Miller Career Academy. Girls basketball. To the mats we go. Boys wrestling, 4 honorees. Let's start. Rodney Hahn, Whitfield School. Rodney's not a one-time, not a two-time, but a 3-time individual state champion at Whitfield. 48-2 record this year, and also helped lead them to the team championship, who return next year to become, I believe, maybe the second or third 4-time state champion in the St. Louis metropolitan area. I like his chances. Rodney Hahn. Let's bring up his teammate, Chris Wilkes, also from Whitfield. Chris was a back-to-back state champion in wrestling in his individual event. 52 wins this year and only 2 losses. Helped Whitfield to win the Class 1 state championship. They're a dynasty in wrestling in the state of Missouri, and these 2 are the reasons why. Chris is headed to North Carolina State University next year on a scholarship. Chris Wilkes. David Frazier, Cahokia. Also a state power in the Metro East, Cahokia High School, and David's one of the latest in the long line. He was a 4th place finisher last year as a junior. This year he made it all the way to the state championship round and was a runner-up, won 40 matches as a senior, a tremendous individual performer in his own right. David Frazier, Cahokia High School. Bennett Lewis, Westminster Christian Academy. Bennett capped off his career like any other one athlete dreams of, not only as a state champion, but undefeated, 53-0 in winning the Class 3 championship at 189 pounds. A tremendous athlete, headed to Washington and Lee University. Bennett Lewis, Westminster Christian Academy. They may not be the biggest guys, but don't mess with them. Our wrestling honorees, tremendous job, young men. Back outdoors we go. Girls track honorees. Our first one, Valeska Haumchek, Francis Howell High School. Also a big part of that cross-country state championship team as well, but on the track, she was the individual state champion in the 800 meters. She's one of the best middle distance runners in the state and part of a state championship mile relay team, which clinched the state title last year. They're one of the favorites this year as well in Class 4. That's Valeska Haumchek, Francis Howell High School. Ashley Henderson, Hazelwood Central High School. Ashley is one of the top sprinters in not only the St. Louis area, but the state of Missouri. She's an all-state performer in the 100 and 200 meter dash, and she'll be one of the people to watch at the state meet in a couple of weeks in both of those events. And look out for her. She got an opportunity to win a state championship, one of the best in the state. Ashley Henderson, Hazelwood Central. Jordan McClendon, John Burroughs. Jordan got her career off to a great start last year by winning the Class 3 state championship in the shot put. Came close to a state record as well, so she's only going to do bigger and better things for the rest of her career in the shot put and discus. Outstanding to start with so far. Jordan McClendon, John Burroughs. Okay, our honoree, we have two left. First in boys track, let's bring up Charles Jones, Cardinal Ritter College Prep. CJ has already emerged as one of the top middle distance performers in the United States. He set a state record in the 800-meter dash last year, 1 minute 49 seconds. He's won several national championships during the summer circuit, and he's got tremendous potential, and it would not shock me that if he joins Jackie Joyner as our next Olympian from St. Louis. He's that good. Charles Jones, Cardinal Ritter, College Prep. And our final honoree from the sport of golf, Brooke Cusimano, Westminster Christian Academy. Not only was Brooke a good golfer, a great golfer, she was a dominant golfer, the most dominating performer in the state. She's a two-time state champion, led the team to 2 consecutive state championships, and just did a tremendous job. She's one of the best that we'll see in this area for a long time. She's headed to Southern Illinois University, Carbondale, also an excellent basketball player at Westminster. Much better shooter than her father was when I watched her. Congratulations. All right, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to all of our honorees. First thing I must say, did everybody, did I miss anybody? Did everybody get one? I make sure. I did about several years ago, and the young athlete's grandmother threatened to come after me with her cane. Okay, so that's all our awardees. Now we got 2 big ones to give out with. First, our Male Athlete of the Year. We talked about his football exploits already, headed to the Ohio State University. He was also an excellent basketball player as well on a conference championship team. He happens to be the top hurdler in the state of Missouri. He's been a state champion and a national champion in the summer. Our Male Athlete of the Year from John Burroughs, Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time to honor our Coach of the Year. We introduced his father earlier. Floyd Irons was a Hall of Fame coach at Vashon High School, won over 800 games. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. His son, Tony, did a tremendous job last year at Imagine College Prep, took them to their first ever Final Four, finished in 3rd place, but the school closed down, and at the time as the season started, nobody knew what was going to happen with Tony, what was going to happen with the players, and Madison Prep opened up, didn't really have a place to play in, found different places to practice in, but Tony did a great job of just holding things together, not only holding the school together, the team together, but led them to a dominant season, 31-2, and a Class 3 state championship. He was a great player at Lutheran North, a state champion. He went on to the School of the Ozarks, where he was the point guard of a national championship team in college, and now he's a state champion as a head coach. 30 years after his father, Floyd, won his first state championship at Vashon High School, Tony Irons led Madison Prep to its Class 3 state championship as well with a similar team. Small, quick, press, dominate you. It was a fun team to watch. Let's introduce to you our 2013 Coach of the Year, Tony Irons. The man here taking Tony's picture, I mentioned Coach Irons. Tony's kind of the third generation of a basketball coaching legacy. That is George Cross, who was Floyd Irons' head coach at Vashon in the 1960s, and he was the coach of the first all-black Hadley Tech team that made it to the Final Four of the Missouri State High School Tournament back in 1962. George Cross, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to have him go. Well, once again, thank you very much. Before we close it out and bring up our the man who made this all possible, the man who's we've named this a dinner after, Larry Hughes. Just want a special couple of closing remarks of my own. As I said, this is always an honor for me to be an MC of this event. It's always the highlight of my high school sports season. I've been doing this 26 years, and we started this event at first in 1995. I started doing it across the hall in that room over here. So, and in 1997, the man whose this award, the banquet is named after, was an athlete of the year as well, Larry. And it's just, I'm just tickled to death to watch everybody here come and receive their awards and to see the parents. And as I said, many of you, I covered when you were in high school, so it's starting to come full circle now. I think just to piggyback on what Tim said, you guys are leaders and role models, whether you know it or not. As you see, there are young people sitting here at the tables with you. They could be your younger brothers or sisters or your nieces, or there are people at home who are looking up to you as role models, and that's what you are now. To you seniors, congratulations. I look forward to following everything that you're going to do at the next level. I know many of you are headed on to the collegiate level. You're going to continue to do great things, and just the number of underclassmen sprinkled in here. I expect you to continue to do the hard work and dedication that has got you to this point. Make this a jumping off point, a stepping stone, not the end point. Your life is just beginning. This is just the beginning. So I look forward to seeing all of you once again in the future, whether on TV or through the newspapers or right here in St. Louis doing your thing. You guys are very special, and I feel very honored to be here in your presence today. Now, to close out our program, let's bring out a very special young man. He was our 1997 honoree for Athlete of the Year. He was an All-American, McDonald's All-American at CBC, All-American at St. Louis University, played 13 years in the National Basketball Association, and he continues to do wonderful things since his retirement from the game in the community with his Larry Hughes Foundation, with emphasis on organ donation. Not only is he a great basketball player, but he's emerged as a special young man from a great family. Let me introduce to you, everybody, Mr. Larry Hughes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words from Mr. Austin. He always does a great job introducing me. I need to bring him on board and hire him and travel around with me to the different places I'm going to, talking about things other than basketball. Basketball has meant a lot to me. It's brought me to the place that I am today.
It's encouraged me to keep moving forward. It's given me the opportunities to make changes, make a difference, let my voice be heard. So with that, I'd like to thank basketball for all it's done for me. I would like you guys, the athletes, the student athletes, to really thank your parents, your guardian, your coach, or whoever that person is that oversees everything that you're doing at this moment. These people are put in place to not only benefit from what you do, but to help push you forward. So with that being said, I'd like to just take a second and just to turn to your parent next to you, to the guardian next to you, and just really say thank you and appreciate what they've done for you. And I speak really on the opportunities that you guys have here moving forward, moving on to college, moving forward onto the academic world in college. The opportunities are amazing. The opportunities that you have in front of you, no one can take advantage of them but you. Excuse me. A short, real quick story that I have happened a few weeks ago. We do a jaywalking event for my brother who passed away some years back. And it's basically an awareness for organ and tissue donation to get the word out there, to have people aware, to become donors, and to get involved with their community. To, it's basically help one, teach one, help one teach one is what we're trying to do. So I was probably about 10 minutes late, getting to the event. I walked down, seeing family, seeing some friends, obviously seeing some people that I don't know, kind of shaking hands, thanking people for coming out. A 55-year-old man walks up to me. I actually didn't know at the time, but a man walks up to me. He says, I like what you're doing. I followed your career. I'm following you in the community now. I'm an Air Force Ranger. He was discharged. He was honorably discharged. He had so many accolades under his belt. So he's talking to me and he's asking, okay, how can I be better? Or how can I be like you? And it took me a minute, and I just had to step back, and I'm like, well, you served your country. You've actually went to war for your country. I play basketball. I help out in the country. Help out in the community. But this guy was asking me. I'm 34 years old. He's asking me, what can he do to be better? So I say, nothing. Continue to do what you're doing, and I'll follow your lead. So this is a man that I'm trying to find to this day, to talk to him and get knowledge on how he has become the person that he is. He doesn't need to follow me. I'm just one person that, obviously basketball has brought, certain things to my table that I'm able to, make a difference. This guy served our country. This guy had mental disabilities because of what he's seen and what he's been through fighting for our country. And this is a guy that's asking me, how can he be better? And I use that to say this is an opportunity for me to share that story with you guys, because you never know. You never know what opportunities it will come to you. So I use this opportunity to tell you guys, get involved. Get involved in your school, get involved in your athletic department, or whatever is going on. Don't just go to college and be an athlete. Don't just go to college to have fun. You go to college to experiment with the good things in life that'll help you move in the right direction. And use every opportunity that you do get to make someone else's life better, or give them an opportunity to make a move for themselves to be better. There's only one thing that I like to say, in our community, is that if we don't help each other, no one else will. No one else will. If you don't help the person next to you, there's a great chance that they won't help you when it's time to help. So, student athletes, get out there and have fun. I love seeing my name, sprinkled on the programs and on the medals and on the awards. It's a blessing and it's an honor to me. I'll use this opportunity that you guys have given me and relay that to kids that are younger than you, kids that are 9, 10 years old. I have kids of my own that I want you older kids to set an example for them. I want you to set an example, for my 9-year-old, for my 10-year-old. It's not about being the best athlete. It's about being the best person. And, the more you play, the more you experience failure, the more you experience success. If you're not a good person, if you don't bring those values back to your home or your community, it does you no good, because those things fly out the window. You can only win so many games, you can only win so many awards, but if you're not making a difference, none of that stuff matters. Thank you.